This is my original Adirondack chair. Adirondack chairs are very loungy, very comfortable when you're in them, but getting in and out of them can be tricky for some people. So this is my new Adirondack chair design. A little bit higher off the ground, a little bit more upright. Same curves as before though, so it's just as comfortable, just a little bit easier for some people. Great for freakishly tall people. Great for people with bad knees.
Yeah, I'm kind of a miracle of modern medicine.
Great for old people.
Old people?
Yeah, you're old.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's great for fat people.
I'm pregnant.
Oh.
I am fat.
I used my templates to efficiently lay out all of the parts needed for 3 of these new chairs. Then I cut the boards down to shorter lengths wherever possible to make the pieces easier to handle. Next I get to cut out all of the pieces, and that's going to happen with some help from my new Laguna tools. This includes the Laguna JX8 jointer, the Laguna 14BX bandsaw, and the Supermax 2550 drum sander. You've actually seen these in my last couple of videos, but I got them earlier this year, and they've changed the workflow of my shop. But first, before using them, I had to get them up in the 2nd floor of the barn, which I get a surprising number of questions about. So here's how I did it. It all happens on the back deck with a winch, snatch block, and an I-beam that's mounted to the ridge of the barn. I modified the handrail since I know this isn't going to be the last time I'm doing this. And then there's this purpose-built ramp that I made just to get the teardrop camper down to the ground after I built it, but it's proven to be quite useful after that. I screw that to the deck, and then I also screw some boards onto the crate to act as guides, and then all of the heavy boxes are pulled up into the barn. Simple as that. Now it's time to cut all of the parts to size, which starts at the jointer to flatten all of the straight parts, the table saw cuts them to width and length, and then the bandsaw is used for all of the curves. I have a lot of sanding ahead of me. The disc sander takes care of all the outside curves, the spindle belt sander does the inside curves, the drum sander does all of the faces and flat edges, but I could also use my templates with a flush trim router bit, but this is my preferred method. apply a coat of penetrating epoxy as the first barrier against the elements. I sand that, but just enough to scuff it up so that the varnish has a great surface to grab onto later. You could just go ahead and apply the varnish now, but I'm going to assemble the chair first and then spray the varnish on after, since I know I'll want to tweak a few things after assembly. The last of the sanding happens now, just to take off the fur around the countersunk holes. Then I have one last trick up my sleeve with this. It's a table that mounts between a pair of these chairs. The table assembles the same way as the chairs, and I simply mount it to each chair with a couple of carriage bolts. This adds a bit of extra horizontal space for your beverages, or whatever. But with that done, it's time to wrap these up with some varnish. 5 coats on the underside, and the top side gets a few more coats than that, just for good measure. Hey, thanks for watching. I've been wanting to do this for years now. The much requested redesign of my Adirondack chair. I like the original, personally. Well, I like both, but now there's a great option there for people who want or need something that's a little bit less loungy. I have plans available for this new chair and the original. There's also a paper template option, so you can trace out those paper templates when you're making your wood templates to make the chair, or the best option yet, ready-made MDF templates shipped to your door. You don't have to do any prep work. You can just dive right into building your chairs. And to make your life even easier, I now have hardware packs, which are for this and the original chair. Gives you every piece of hardware that you need, so you don't have to search for it yourself. Besides that, I want to give some love to Laguna Tools, thank them for making this video and this project possible. You saw me using their JX8 jointer, which is an 8-inch helical head jointer. It's really well built and powerful, and it has changed the way that I work in my shop. Now this replaces my previous jointer here. That's nothing, I didn't have one before. You also saw the 14BX bandsaw, which as far as I'm concerned is the standard to judge all 14-inch bandsaws by. It's a very reasonably sized bandsaw, but it has a monster 12-inch resaw capacity. My old one was the same size, but only like 7, maybe 8 inches of resaw. I've sent some 9-inch wide mahogany through this thing, and it barely slowed down. I love it. I used one of these in my friend Jay's shop years ago, and I knew instantly that I had to have one in my shop one day. And the last Laguna tool you saw me using was the Supermax 2550 drum sander. It's a very large and capable sander, but with a very reasonable footprint. Check out all the links down below to learn more about all these Laguna tools and also their accessories, which includes the mobility kit on the bandsaw and on the drum sander, the Resaw King blades on the bandsaw, and the LED light that you saw me using on the bandsaw. Everything they offer will change how you work in the shop and just make your life easier, and you probably need that. I know I do. Also, don't forget, ISOtunes is having a buy one, get one free sale going on right now. Buy one of these, get one completely for free. Details are down below. Something just hit me from the tree. Wireless hearing protection with Bluetooth headphones built in. I'm never in my shop without them. Genuinely.
Right up. Whoa.
There it is. Look at that. Magic. Whoa!
It's just like physical therapy for me.
How can you do that?
How did I do that?
How is that possible? You couldn't do that in this chair.
Oh, no.
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 So he's stuck.
I'd be lying if I can get up. I'm 64, but you know what? I'm still fit. Probably more fit than people his age.
More than me.